I know you're tired. I know you've tried everything and it still feels like nothing's changing. But before you walk away, before you give up, I need you to hear this. The fact that you're still here means you haven't lost. You're just in the middle of your fight, not the end of it. You're not broken. You're not weak. You're just tired. Tired of pushing, of waiting, of watching others succeed while you're stuck wondering, why not me? But here's the truth. Every single person who ever made it, every person you admire, wanted to quit at some point. The difference is they didn't. Not because they had it all figured out, but because they made one decision to keep going one more day. You think you're failing because it's hard, but it's supposed to be hard. Growth doesn't happen when it's easy. Strength doesn't come from comfort. It's built in the moments when everything inside you says stop, and you whisper back, not yet. The pain you're feeling right now, that's proof you're still fighting, and the fight means there's something in you worth fighting for. So don't wait for motivation. Don't wait to feel ready. You'll never feel ready. Just take one small step today. That's how you win. Not with giant leaps, but with tiny, relentless steps in the direction of who you want to become. You can't see it now, but your future self is begging you not to quit. Keep going, because one day you'll look back and realize this moment wasn't your breaking point. It was your turning point. You're not broken. You're just tired. That's an important distinction, and it changes everything. When you're exhausted, your mind starts to twist the story. It tells you that you're not enough, that you've failed too many times, that maybe you just don't have what it takes. But that's not the truth. That's fatigue talking. When you've been fighting for too long, carrying too much, and seeing too little progress, your brain starts to confuse exhaustion with defeat. You're not done, you're just drained. There's a difference between being broken and being tired. Broken means you can't come back from it. Tired means you need rest, not a reason to quit. Think about the moments when you've pushed yourself before, whether it was work, studying, training, or just trying to hold yourself together. You hit a wall, and in that moment, it feels final. You start to believe that wall is a sign you should stop. But that wall is just fatigue in disguise. It's your body and mind asking for a pause, not permission to give up. Most people confuse the two because they expect the journey to success or healing to always feel like forward motion. But it doesn't. Progress is messy. It comes with long stretches where it looks like nothing is happening, where you pour your heart into something and get silence in return. It's in those stretches that your energy drains and you start to mistake the silence for failure. The truth is, you're still growing in that quiet. You're still building something, even when it feels invisible. When you say, I'm done, what you often mean is, I don't see results right now and it hurts. That's okay. You're human. You're allowed to feel tired. You're allowed to rest, but don't let exhaustion rewrite your story. You haven't lost your potential. You haven't run out of chances. You just need to step back, breathe, and remind yourself why you started in the first place. Because the reason you started still matters, even when you're too tired to see it clearly. There's a kind of strength that doesn't look like power. It looks like resting without guilt. It's pausing, not quitting. It's saying, I'll try again tomorrow, even when today feels like too much. You don't need to force yourself to be unstoppable. You just need to keep coming back after every fall, no matter how small the comeback is. That's how real resilience is built. Not by pretending you're fine, but by admitting you're tired and still choosing to show up and So if you're in that place right now, where you feel like you have hit the end of your rope, remember this, you're not broken. You're a human being doing something incredibly difficult. You're pushing through the unknown, carrying weight that most people don't even see. The fact that you're still here, reading this, proves that there's still something in you that refuses to quit. That spark is still alive. You don't need to fix yourself. You just need to rest long enough to remember your own strength. Everyone wants to quit sometimes. It's one of those truths that no one likes to admit because we're taught to glorify strength and hide struggle. But the truth is, even the strongest people, the ones you admire, the ones who seem unstoppable, have moments when they want to walk away. They've cried behind closed doors, questioned their purpose, and doubted if they were ever meant to make it. The difference between those who make it and those who don't isn't that they never felt like giving up. It's that they didn't let that feeling make the final decision. Wanting to quit is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign that you've been giving your all. You don't feel like giving up on something that means nothing to you. You only feel that way when you've invested your time, your energy, and your heart into something that matters deeply. That feeling of wanting to quit is simply your mind's way of saying, I'm scared, I'm tired, and I can't see the results yet. It's a natural response to uncertainty and pain, not a verdict on your potential. Every dream, every goal, every transformation has a breaking point, that moment when things get so heavy that quitting seems like the most reasonable option. That's the moment that tests everything. Most people think the winners are the ones who never hit that wall, but that's wrong. The winners are the ones who hit it, slammed into it, fell apart, cried, questioned everything, and then stood back up. They didn't get back up because it was easy. They got back up because something inside them whispered, just one more try. When you want to quit, what you really want is relief. Relief from the frustration, the fear, the disappointment. You're craving peace, not failure. But quitting doesn't give you peace, it gives you regret. It leaves you wondering what would have happened if you had pushed just a little bit longer. The pain of persistence might feel unbearable in the moment, but it fades with time. The pain of regret, though, stays with you. It becomes a voice that haunts your future attempts, whispering, you gave up last time. What makes this time different? So when you feel like quitting, remind yourself that you're standing in the same place every successful person once stood. You're not broken. You're in the middle of your test. The ones who make it aren't special. They're just consistent. They don't need motivation every day. They just decide again and again not to stop. You don't have to feel strong to keep going. You just have to take the next step, even when you're scared, even when you doubt yourself. Those small moments of resistance, the ones where you keep moving despite the pain, they add up. They build a version of you that can handle more, believe more, and do more. That's what separates those who quit from those who rise. It's not luck. It's not talent. It's simply the decision to keep going one more time, even when every part of you wants to stop. Hard doesn't mean impossible. Somewhere along the way, we started to believe that if something is meant for us, it should come easily. But that's not how growth works. Anything worth having demands something from you, your patience, your energy, your consistency, and your resilience. The difficulty you're facing isn't a sign that you're on the wrong path. It's proof that you're pushing against your limits. The truth is, if it were easy, everyone would do it. Hard is what makes it meaningful. Hard is what shapes you into the kind of person who can handle what you're asking for. When things get tough, it's natural to start doubting yourself. You begin to wonder if maybe you misunderstood your purpose. If maybe the struggle means you're not cut out for it. But the struggle doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're learning. Every obstacle you face is training you for the next level. Think about it. A muscle only grows when it's under tension. Without resistance, it stays the same. Your mind works the same way. The challenges you face are not punishments. They're workouts for your potential. The people who achieve great things are not superhuman. They just keep showing up when it's hard. They understand that effort and discomfort are part of the process. They don't see struggle as a stop sign. They see it as a signal that they're getting closer. The path that's worth walking will never be smooth because the lessons you need most are hidden in the rough patches. Every setback teaches you how to adapt, how to stay grounded, how to trust yourself when everything feels uncertain. It's easy to romanticize success, to think that those who made it somehow had it easier. But behind every win, there are countless days of frustration, rejection, and failure. The only difference is that they didn't mistake hard for impossible. They used difficulty as a teacher, not a wall. Every time they fell, they took what they learned and tried again. That's what progress actually looks like. Not a straight climb, but a messy, painful, beautiful fight to become who you're supposed to be. When you hit that point where it feels like nothing is working, that's when most people quit. That's when you have to remind yourself that the gap between hard and impossible is smaller than you think. You've already survived so much to get here. You've already proven that you can handle difficult things. So when life gets heavy, don't see it as a reason to stop. See it as a challenge to rise. Every time you push through something that once felt impossible, you expand what's possible for you. You don't grow by avoiding hard things. You grow by walking through them, even when you're scared, even when you don't have all the answers. Hard is not your enemy, it's your invitation. It's life's way of asking, how badly do you really want this? And when you choose to keep going despite the difficulty, you're answering that question with action, not words. Action beats motivation. Too many people wait to feel ready before they start. They wait for that spark of inspiration, that perfect moment when everything aligns and they finally feel confident enough to take the first step. But that moment rarely comes. The truth is, motivation isn't what starts the engine. action is. You don't think your way into confidence, you act your way into it. Waiting for motivation is like waiting for the weather to be perfect before you go outside. You'll end up staying stuck in the same place forever. Every great change starts with a single move, not a burst of motivation. The act of doing creates momentum, and momentum creates motivation. It's a cycle that begins with action, not emotion. Think about the times you didn't feel like working out but showed up anyway. 10 minutes in, your energy shifted. Or the times you didn't feel like studying or creating, but once you began, something inside you woke up. That's how progress works. You don't wait to feel inspired, you take action, and the inspiration follows. Most people misunderstand motivation. They treat it like a magic force that will one day appear and make things effortless. But motivation is unreliable. It's a feeling, and feelings change constantly. If you base your consistency on how you feel, you'll never build anything lasting. The people who seem disciplined aren't always motivated. They've simply learned how to move without waiting to feel like it. They know that the hardest part is starting. And once you start resistance begins to fade. The reason action matters more than motivation is because action gives you evidence. When you take a step, even a small one, you prove to yourself that you're capable. That small win builds confidence. Confidence builds belief, and belief fuels persistence. It's not about doing everything perfectly, it's about showing up consistently enough to build proof that you can. When you act, you shift from thinking to doing, and that's where transformation begins. You'll never wake up every day bursting with drive. Some days you'll feel empty, unmotivated, or even defeated. That's when discipline matters most. Doing the thing even when the spark is gone. The secret is to lower the bar enough to move. Don't think about doing everything, just do one thing. Write one sentence, take one walk, make one call. That small movement interrupts the paralysis of overthinking and reminds your brain that you're in control. The moment you act, you regain your power. Action is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. It's the cure for doubt, procrastination, and fear. You can't think your way into progress, you have to step into it. Even the smallest actions compound over time. You don't need motivation to start. You just need the courage to take one imperfect step forward. Because once you move, motivation follows, momentum builds, and that's how change really begins. This is not your ending, it's your turning point. When life gets hard and everything seems to fall apart, it's easy to believe that you've reached the end. The disappointment, the failure, the heartbreak, they convince you that there's nothing left to fight for. But what you often mistake for an ending is actually the moment life is reshaping you into someone stronger. It's the breaking of what you used to be so that you can become what you're meant to be. Every ending you've faced before has led to a new beginning, even if you didn't see it at the time. This moment is no different. When things collapse, it feels like you're losing everything. But what you're really losing are the pieces that can't go with you to the next chapter. Growth requires letting go. It requires endings. The end of old habits, old fears, old versions of yourself. It's painful because transformation always is. You can't build the future while clinging to the past. So when life feels like it's closing in on you, maybe it's not closing at all. Maybe it's clearing space for something new to begin. The truth is, every person who has ever achieved something remarkable has stood where you are right now, on the edge of giving up, believing that this was the end. But instead of walking away, they decided to see that breaking point as a turning point. They made a choice to believe that something greater was waiting on the other side of their struggle. That decision changed everything. Not because the pain disappeared, but because they chose to keep moving through it. Pain has a purpose. It wakes you up. It forces you to question what you truly want and what you're willing to do for it. It strips away illusions and reveals your real strength. Most people try to escape pain, but those who grow from it understand that the hardest chapters often become the most important ones. The moment you think it's over might be the exact moment you're being prepared for your breakthrough. What feels like falling apart is often just the process of realignment. Life pulling you away from what's comfortable toward what's necessary. When you reach your lowest point, something powerful happens. You stop pretending, you stop trying to control everything. You start listening to that quiet voice inside that says, "Get up." Not like this. That voice is your turning point. It's the moment you stop being driven by fear and start being guided by purpose. It's the moment you realize that the end of one path doesn't mean the end of your story. It's the beginning of a new one, that you're strong enough now to walk. So no, this isn't your ending. It's the part where everything changes. It's the chapter where you discover what you're truly made of. The struggle you're facing isn't here to destroy you, it's here to awaken you. One day, you'll look back and realize this moment, the one that felt like the end, was actually the moment you began again. You've made it this far for a reason. You've walked through pain, doubt, and exhaustion, and you're still here, still fighting. That alone says more about your strength than any success ever could. You don't need to have everything figured out right now. You just need to take the next step, because every step you take, no matter how small, moves you closer to the life you deserve. Remember, the struggle you're facing isn't proof that you're failing. It's proof that you're still in the game. You're not behind, you're building. You're not lost, you're learning. Every moment you choose to keep going, you're rewriting your story into one of courage, persistence, and victory. One day you'll look back at this moment, this exact season of your life, and realize it was the moment that changed everything. The pain you feel now will become the power that pushes you forward. So don't stop here. Keep going. The world needs the version of you that's on the other side of this fight. Thank you for watching, for listening, and most importantly, for not giving up on yourself. Your journey matters, even when it's messy, even when it's slow. If no one's told you today, I'm proud of you. Keep showing up. Keep believing. Your time is coming. Take a deep breath, stand tall, and step forward. You've got this. Thank you for being here. And until next time, take care of yourself, keep moving, and never forget, you are stronger than you think.